Now, let me refresh the memories of those who may have seen all of my early videos. I got some on DVD when I was forced out of Arkansas and I went back to Fayetteville, Arkansas. My God gave me this vision of the Twin Tower, knocking down the Twin Tower Trade Center building. Well, in doing so, this was the vision. I was driving a 1955 or 56 Oldsmobile two-tone blue with white top. I was driving north, seemed like on Highway 79 Highway, and got to this long bridge. Instead of turning on this bridge that went out in the bay, I was traveling east. I turned and made a right turn. Well, as I went to drive south on this roadway, which was next to this, on the west bank of this large body of water. Well, driving down this road, the car went dead. It went dead, two aunts appeared behind me and began to push the vehicle. Further guided a minute ago, one vanished to the right, and then stayed on the other van. So I took and got out and decided to check and see what caused the engine to stall. Well, the 1955-56 Oldsmobile was not electronic pneumatic cylinder, but it had the points in it. I took a piece of sandpaper out of the glove compartment of this vehicle, and I opened the hood and sand the points down and got it to fire once more. I began back into the car. I cranked the vehicle up, and it cranked up, and I began to drive south once more. Well, the roadway I was on, which went south, traveled south on this west bank of this large river body of water, it turned into a sand bed. As I began to drive onto this sand bed as far as I can, I became stuck in the sand. So as I got out of this vehicle and began to walk southwards, I don't know the destination, but I began to go southwards. I guess where I was going to was south, wherever it was. I looked behind me as the water to the left would dictate my path to the south. There was a large hill or levee like to my right with a large body of vegetation dictate my path to the south, where I couldn't turn right, couldn't go left. So as I looked behind me, there was a wolf. This wolf stalking me from a distance, and he was walking behind me as if he was traveling. As it was getting late over in the evening, I saw the wolf stalking me, and I didn't know whether he was a wild dog or a tame dog. I continued to go, and I said within myself, I said, Lord, it's getting dark, and this wolf stalking me. Wolf-looking dog stalking me, and I had to go through these trees of large vegetation was before me. I looked up at the tree. There was a tree broke off at the top with jagged edges on. I said within myself, just maybe there's a coon nesting up in this tree. If I take and shove it over into the body of water, he fall out in the water, this wolf-looking dog behind me will go out there and retrieve the coon, and it will stop stalking me. He get the coon, I go on through these woods. Well, I went to this tree, and I shoved the tree, and it fell over into this large body of water. It had jagged edges like a crown on top. Instead of one coon coming out, there were two coons. Small young coon fell out into the water, which were siblings of twins. I looked at these two coons and I said, well, maybe this dog ain't a wild dog after all. Maybe he'll go out into this here water and retrieve both coons and bring one coon for me and keep the other for himself. At that time, I looked back at the dog, and I looked back at the two coons. They had changed into three giant snapping turtles as big as the dog that was talking to me, wolf-looking dog was talking to me. And they came coming to the bank, swimming towards me, all three of these snapping their giant mouths. As I looked back at the dog, I said, now what? I know dogs don't eat no snapping turtles. Now what? About that time, there was this small dog ran out of the vegetation, scampered out of the vegetation in front of me, and went and devoured all three of these giant snapping turtles. Well, the little dog was a symbol of bin Laden, knocking down the Twin Tower Trade Center. The Twin Tower Trade Center had not been knocked down yet. The three giant turtles was a symbol of the two twin towers and the Pentagon being affected by what this little dog may or may not have done. So, as I was standing there, I said, now what? This little dog has knocked down, ate all these creatures, these three giant snapping turtles, and immediately didn't change. So, as I said, now what? I looked at the dog, the giant-looking, wolf-looking dog, which was behind me. Appeared by my feet close to the water was this big alligator-looking creature with spines up his back, down from his tail up, and he had a scorpion tail, and he had the head of a dragon. He came up out the water, and he went out, and he devoured this little dog, which had devoured the three turtles. I looked and said, now what? But after this alligator-looking thing, this dragon, had devoured this little dog that was responsible for eating up all three of these turtles, then at the end, this wolf-looking dog came close to where I was. He didn't bother me. He sit there and looked, and he went out and met the dragon that had devoured this thing, which was bin Laden, which was the first forces of the United States of America, was the dragon, nuclear capability. And this wolf-looking dog went out and devoured him. As I stood there and watched, the God of the heaven inflicted his wound upon this wolf-looking dog, which was the Antichrist, which was the drug dealer, which was organized crime, and they turned into a giant pile of ashes, big and high. As I stood there and I looked at them, the four winds of the earth were stirred up in the earth. And as the four winds began to blow, it scattered the remains of this wolf-looking dog among the sand until there was no parts of him to be found upon the face of the earth. This creature was a thing of evil. He had instigated and fabricated lies of the sea, imposing wars upon nations and devouring nations after nation, caused the people to fight among themselves. But at the end, he was the Antichrist, a man who lied to the sea. And at the end, God destroyed him.